It is now our great pleasure to invite Shri Talim Kumar IAS onto the dais to deliver the inaugural address. He is Principal Secretary, Department of Information Technology and Electronics. He has held additional charge as the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the Delhi-Mumbai Industrial Development Corporation Limited and coordinates matters related to the DMIC project in the Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion, Ministry of Commerce and Industry. He is also implementing the preparation of the perspective plan for the Bengaluru-Mumbai Economic Corridor and the Amritsar-Kolkata Industrial Corridor projects as MD and CEO of DMI CDC. Mr. Talim Kumar.
Good morning, everyone. Mr. C.P. Gurnani, Mr. Kamal Agarwala, Mr. Nirupam Chaudhary, members of NASSCOM, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. I will just take a few seconds to tell you about what the economist William Bryan Arthur of Stanford University in 2009 said. And that is the essence of the topic today, technology fueling business growth. He said we put together pieces of metal alloy and fossil fuel so that we hurtle through the sky at close to speed of sound. We organize tiny signals from the spins of atomic nuclei to make images of the neural circuits inside our brain. We organize biological objects, enzymes, to snip tiny slivers of molecules from DNA and paste them into bacterial cells. 2 or 3 centuries ago, we could not have imagined these powers. He observes that these new technologies are put together from existing technologies. Technologies evolve continuously. One technology feeds into another, and we don't even know what shape this will take in the future. So that sets the context for today's discussion. I remember that when I was a student in IIT Kanpur in 1980-85, during that period, we were introduced to 2 simultaneous facets of technology. One was the Digital Equipment Corporation mainframe computer, and the other was a 8080 chip. Now, both were, one was kind of had already evolved, and one was evolving. And I remember it was an 8-bit chip, about 5 megahertz clock speed, one ALU, 40 pins, one CPU. And today we talk about at least 4 to 6 gigahertz of speed. Is about 840 to 900 times what I began with. So that is how technology has grown in leaps and bounds. While physical sciences provide us the envelope within which we can work, technology provides that step forward to take us to that envelope. We continuously try to reach that envelope through technology. But physical sciences pretty much define that envelope. So this continuous struggle to do better and better is what technology is all about. Now, what are the facts, some of the statistics? Deloitte study tells us that 47% in analytics and about 43% in cloud applications will be the technology spent by companies. That is their projection. In the next 12 months, information security will be an area where they will spend the most or have the most attention. I have identified some technology areas through discussion with people, etc., which I feel will be the drivers of the future, especially in IT. And those are, some of them are, it's not exhaustive, but some of them are, big data analytics is one, which will clearly drive in the age of SMAC, social media, mobility, analytics, and cloud computing. this SMAC, as we call it, is changing the paradigm of technology across the globe. And big data analytics is one of them, cyber security is another, high-end computing is another, Internet of Things is another one, reality experiences, virtual reality, augmented reality is another one. All these facets of technology, all these areas of technology have a promise to completely transform the way we do things, completely disrupt. We did not imagine that the highest revenue driver in, let's say, the taxi space will be a person who does not own even a single taxi. That is disruption. So we have to be ready for such technological disruptions across the globe. And if it is happening across the globe, it will happen in India as well. What does the industry outlook say? The 7 very interesting features of the industry outlook, because we have to remember what the industry will look like if we have to position ourselves now. Human workers are likely to be replaced by machines, particularly knowledge workers. And not only knowledge workers, but industrial and service positions. By 2025, 260 million jobs may be replaced or augmented by technology. How do we adapt ourselves to such changes? Resource scarcity may drive innovation as companies are forced to do more with fewer resources. We talk about cities. Cities occupy only about 2 to 3% of the land area of the earth. But guess what? They guzzle about 60 to 65% of the world's resources and also produce about 75% of the world's carbon. How do you have sustainable technologies? Although you can have cities and churn out GDPs, how do you have sustainable technologies to take care of such scarcity of resources? Technology will have to play a major role in such sustainability concepts. About 80% of the incremental expenditures over the next decade may be driven by digital technologies, such as platforms, cloud-based applications, social mobility applications, mobile systems, cyber security, and so on. If that is the incremental spend, how do companies position themselves for the new digital wave? The global addressable market for business process management services will touch about $260 billion by 2025, which amounts to an average growth rate of 4 to 6%, with the expansion driven by business process as a service offering. So business process will be offered as a service. Technology will have to deliver this as a service. How do we adapt ourselves to such changes? Similarly, the lines between engineering as a service and ICT will blur. There will be so much of ICT content in engineering services that the line between engineering services and ICT will start to blur. Have we positioned ourselves to take care of these changes? Altogether, the share of digital technology investment in cumulative expenditures may rise from 10% in 2014 to 35% in 2020 and 60% in 2025. So these are some of the hard facts and statistics. It's important to know them as we move forward. Now the question is, how does it impact business growth? This is the topic today. When you see the growth of a GDP of a nation or a country, technology underpins all the factors. The common factors from fundamentals of economics, we know that natural resources, labor force, human capital, they are all instrumental in GDP growth. But what is the single important factor which underpins all these other factors of production? That factor is technology. Changing technologies will help in extending visibility and building a better customer base for you. They will help you to understand your customers much better. They will offer you new ways to sell. They will allow you to be fast and agile because you have to adapt to changing circumstances. They will increase your productivity and allow collaborative efforts across the industry. They will streamline and automate routine tasks for you to create value for you. All these are known, well known, and will continue to be driven by technology. But what does it mean for you as a business in this new digital wave? If you see the 5 important forces that drive any business, this is true for all businesses. You'll find that there are 5 important areas. One is your bargaining power over customers, your suppliers, then threat of substitution, then barriers to entry, and rivalry within the competition. Take each of these factors, you will find that technology plays a very important role. So in West Bengal is also poised, in government we talk about the 3 spaces, G2G, G2B, G2C. And in all these 3 spaces, we are committed to provide a robust framework for businesses to prosper and grow. The government of West Bengal, under the inspiring leadership of our Honorable Chief Minister, will continue to give you G2G, G2B, G2C robust structures. Several initiatives we have taken. I can't spell out all of them, but some of them I can talk about, like having a single service delivery platform. Wouldn't it be nice if everyone could apply on one single platform with a single mobile app, go online, get an online service, apply online, track your application online, and when the service is approved or a clearance is approved or a permit is given, download that online without any physical interface with the government offices. Wouldn't it be nice if all the depositories, testimonials of all students and across all universities were to be kept in one place and the employer could verify it online? Wouldn't it be nice if we have a paperless e-office framework? Wouldn't it be nice if we have a state enterprise architecture which underpins all departments of the government? I can't talk about them in detail because several of them are in the pipeline. If G2G, G2B, and G2C are strengthened, I'm confident that B2B, B2C space which is taken up by you will step forward and continuously innovate to stay competitive. That should be the message. Thank you all.
Talim Kumar, for that immensely insightful talk. I would like to request Mr. Kamal Agarwal to present a token of our appreciation to Shri Talim Kumar.